starting lineup, John Paxson and Michael Jordan at the guards for the Chicago Bulls. Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen up front. The center, Bill Cartwright. Starting lineup for the Bulls, coached by Phil Jackson, one of only 9 men to win NBA titles as a player and head coach. Terry Porter and Clyde Drexler open in the backcourt for the Trailblazers. Buck Williams and Jerome Kersey on the front line. The center, Kevin Duckworth. The coach of the Portland Trailblazers, Rick Alleman, who was a 7th-round draft pick out of Loyola of California back in '68, taken by this Portland franchise. Now let's go to a man who hails from the City of Roses and has been doing a nice job for the Chamber of Commerce during the course of the week. Here's Portland's own Ahmad Rashad.
Thank you, Marv. If I mentioned what a wonderful city Portland is, that's another thing. I visited the Trailblazer locker room before the game. Very loose atmosphere. I talked to Clyde Drexler, who a lot of pressure will be on tonight. He said not only did he feel optimistic, but very confident. On the other end, Michael Jordan, who had a badly bruised left heel, is wearing a little bit of a pad. I asked him how it felt. He said it has to feel good because it is game time. Marv?
Thank you, Ahmad. Yes, Michael Jordan bothered by the heel problem. Also Sunday night in Game 3, took a knee in his thigh, came up hobbling. Darrell Garrison, Dick Bavetta, Joe Crawford are the officials. And Terry Porter moves it across against John Paxson. And let's see how they look to involve Porter right at the start to get him going. Duckworth putting the move on Cartwright. And it's last touch. Let's see, the officials conferring last touch by Portland, so it will be Chicago ball. And Scottie Pippen moves across. Horace Grant bothered by Buck Williams. Michael Jordan played by Clyde Drexler. Jordan with a tough angle jumper and rebounded by Porter. Drexler being guarded by Jordan. Kersey. Once again, it will be Chicago possession.
Well, the idea is right at both ends of the floor for Portland thus far. Very aggressive at the defensive end. They're up in passing range, challenging. At the offensive end, put it on the floor, take it to the basket, and try to create.
Cartwright had a notion to shoot, but gave it up. Jordan. Beautiful shot by Jordan. Able to squeeze inside and go glass.
Boy, he caught the big man, Duckworth, coming at him, and he just went right inside of him and Clyde Drexler.
And a traveling violation is called.
Jordan was waiting for the screen to come over by Cartwright, trying to force the switch, and then he knows that he's either got Cartwright rolling or that time a good look at the front of the rim.
I know it's early, but right at the start, both clubs looked to be sharp in contrast to what we saw on Sunday night. Both teams looking tired, and this building was very hot and humid.
And also, Marv, too, that both teams are starting off in a different way. They're going inside, and that's why you probably see a better game tonight. Well rested, as well as now picking and choosing when to run and when not to run.
Foul committed by Duckworth, sending Cartwright to the line.
And it's exactly why Chicago likes to open up early and get the ball down low inside to Bill Cartwright to try and put fouls on the opposing center. It's been a problem for Duckworth the entire season. He has spent a lot of early minutes in ball games sitting down. They need him on the floor. In the one win that Portland has thus far, he has played over 40 minutes.
Bill Cartwright had huge problems at the foul line earlier in the playoffs, but he has come on as of late. The Bulls 3 and the Blazers nothing. And Kersey threw the foul. It's called on Jordan, so Michael went for the fake and picks up the early foul.
You know, many times this would not be They got him in the air. The contact took place. They've got to call it early. He's out exposed. Easy to see by everyone in the building. You got to make that call.
And Duckworth blocked by Cartwright.
Well, this is a different Portland team right here. They're starting off inside. Here it is. Duckworth is taking it to Cartwright. Cartwright got a foul on Duckworth. Last time down, this time it's Duckworth getting a foul on Cartwright. So we're 1-1. We're even right now in 5.
They isolate Duckworth on Cartwright. Grant came over to help. Percy, his shot has been way off. Jordan pulls up for 3. Yes! Michael Jordan put on the 3-point exhibition back in Game 1 of this series. He tied an NBA Finals record by hitting 6. Since then, he has not been able to hit from 3-point land. The Bulls with a 6-0 lead. Jordan faking the 3-pointer.
And there's that fake fast break by Chicago again.
And the end result, the layup for Pippen, and Rick Adelman needs a timeout.
20-second timeout.
It is a 20-second timeout.
But something that Michael Jordan had done so well in Game 1, then in Games 2 and 3, not so well. Pulls it out of his pocket early here in game number 4. Jordan with the 3-pointer in transition. If the defense collapses too far back, Michael will pull up and take it if he gets a good look and gets his feet set.
Well, Game 4 of this best-of-7 opening up for the Chicago Bulls, who jump in front 8-0. Looking back, recapping the series, Game 1, it was Jordan with that 3-point display, leading Chicago to the blowout. The Bulls blew a 10-point lead in the final 4.5 minutes of Game 2 in Chicago last Friday night. Danny Ainge triggering that comeback, and Portland won in overtime. Game 3 here on Sunday, not a well-played game. Horace Grant with that balanced all-around game, and Chicago was able to win by 10 for the 2-1 lead. And this crowd looking to urge the Trailblazers on. They're down 8-zip right at the start. Duckworth rebounded by Jordan.
And just the full court pressure accomplished what Chicago wanted. They got a hurried shot. They're back on the attack again.
Jordan was stopped. Drexler putting the move on. Drexler was looking for the contact. Pippen with the feed for Jordan. And the foul is called. It's on Kersey.
See the difference between the two teams is Chicago will make the extra pass. Here it is, a steal. Good team defense. Drexler is going to break off. But he has no lane here. Watch the defense by Chicago, give him really no lane. He has to make a tough shot. But really, the difference between the two teams is the 4 times that Chicago has come down, they made the extra pass to get the basket. Portland had a chance to make 2 passes. Duckworth should have passed that ball back to Drexler. He could have went in for a dunk. He took the jump shot, missed. Back on the other end for an easy shot for Michael. And that's the difference between the two teams. They're making an extra pass. Chicago, Portland.
Talking to Michael Jordan prior to the game, I asked, would he try to come out quickly or would he wait to see what develops? He said he wanted to see how his heel feels, and then he would make the determination. Well, he's come out fast, hitting that 3-pointer. Drexler. So the Blazers go 3.5 minutes without a score. Chicago now leads 10-2. Jordan had missed his last 6 from 3-point range before hitting a moment ago. Jordan had it knocked away, and Portland gets it back.
Chicago said they only want one more practice. So if they only want one more practice, meaning they don't have to win this game, Michael Jordan, you knew, had to come out early and have a quick start.
And the foul called on Grant. So that's the motivation. Stay away from the practice sessions.
That's right. Well, you figure if they win tonight, they only got one more practice, they feel, which will be tomorrow, and try to close them out on Friday. And that's their thinking. They want only one more practice. Win tonight, close it out on Friday. Let's go home, and the season is over.
Let's go back earlier in the beginning of the game when Magic mentioned the fact that this would be a much better game than the last one because of the rest, the time they've had to prepare. What you've seen so far are a number of fouls from guys who are edgy, guys who are hyper right now. Up in the air on the slightest little fake, coming down on top of people. That's because they've had a couple days off. They've wanted to get this game underway. You see them very anxious in the beginning here.
Bulls 10, the Blazers 3. Jordan for Cartwright. And Pippen able to get to it. Scottie Pippen, who comes off an excellent all-around game, provides a 12-3 advantage.
Defensive rebounding, one of the keys for Portland to get their transition game going. You've got to give Chicago only one shot. They're shooting over 50% in this series as a team.
Kersey, yes. Duckworth and Cartwright got entangled. They both went down. Cartwright was complaining one of the foul called on Duckworth. Bulls lead 12-5. Jordan is looking for the three-pointer once again tonight. Cartwright off a pick and roll. Yes.
If you coach Phil Jackson, you got to love this tempo so far. It's a good tempo for Chicago. Not a lot of running and gunning, and they're handling the Portland Trail Blazers just at their speed.
Williams strip. 3-on-2. Pippen with the change of pace. And he's given the Bulls a 16-5 lead.
And the key right there is the tempo changed because Chicago saw it had the numbers. 3-2, they take advantage of the fast break instead of pulling out. 3 against 3, they pull it back out.
Portland taking another timeout. 6:40 remaining in the first. Well, in the opening minutes, we saw Michael Jordan going to the three-point field goal. He had very little success since his opening game exploits, and we talked about that earlier.
I've kind of put that in the closet. You know, I really hadn't tried to live on that three-point shot. I mean, initially, you know, it was a shot that they were giving me, and I took it. I don't think that they are aware of my outside shot, but I don't think I have to make that known anymore, and I'm certainly not trying to look for threes, and it really takes me out of my game, my normal game.
Well, you know what's happening is he sees at the opening they're giving him a three-point and he's taking it. Now, Michael is not a three-point shooter, but if the opportunity is there, just like myself, if the opportunity is there, I can take it and knock it down if my feet are set. Same with him.
Duckworth getting inside. He blew the layup. And again, that time it was deflected. 16-5 Chicago. And Jordan able to penetrate. Sets up Grant. Bulls 18 and the Blazers 5.
And Grant was responsible for that whole series at the defensive end, challenging his shots, forcing Duckworth to miss. At the offensive end, on the glass, Grant, terrific series so far.
And a terrific alley-oop pass from Kersey to Drexler.
Reason being on that time, Porter set an excellent back pick on Michael Jordan to get Drexler free.
Porter yet to take a shot in this first quarter. Drexler with a wild three-pointer.
See the difference between Michael Jordan's 3 and Clyde's 3. Michael Jordan was on Clyde Drexler. He shouldn't have taken that shot. Michael Jordan took his 3 with nobody there.
Patrick, we've seen it through this series, and of course during the season with Portland, a club that you face on so many occasions. Clyde Drexler got a piece of that drive by Jordan. Clyde Drexler, no question, is one of the top players in the league. Here's Kersey wide open, but it won't count. Foul away from the ball. Foul committed on by Buck Williams. But would you explain the shot selection of Clyde Drexler? From time to time, he will just hoist shot from all angles. The same can be said of Terry Porter.
Well, what's happening, if you've been doing it during the season and the first 3 rounds of the playoff, you continue to do it. And they have continued to play the same way they have been playing in the first 3 rounds, and that's taking shots that normally other people and other teams would not take.
And Joe Crawford with the the pushing indication on Pippen. Here's Danny Ainge checking in along with Cliff Robinson. Danny Ainge did not shoot well on Sunday, but had the excellent game of an overtime victory Friday night in Chicago. Cliff Robinson has been in a struggle. This time he goes down low and guns it back out. Robinson only 2 for 11 Sunday night. Drexler. Bulls 20 and the Trailblazers 9. Jordan. Porter. And Ainge to the backcourt. Williams up front with Drexler and Robinson. And the pass off the mark.
Sometimes, even with a 6'10" guy flying at you, you wind up getting just enough look, and Grant challenged it, but that time, bottom of the net for Drexler.
But that time, too, he had a lot of airspace in between him and Grant, and that was a good shot for Clyde.
Cliff Robinson banging for Phil Cartwright. Robinson felt that Cartwright pushed back at him and should have been called for the foul, but it's on Robinson.
In fact, in game number 3, this exact same thing happened. As soon as Robinson wound up coming in the game and he played Cartwright, they went to Cartwright, the Bulls, and there was a foul immediately by Robinson. If it happens too often, you've got to switch Buck Williams over to play Cartwright, a more physical player.
Pippen? Yes. Scottie Pippen off to the fast start. He has 8 points. He's hit on 4 out of 5. The Bulls 22. The Blazers 9.
That's a mismatch for Danny Ainge to be playing Scottie Pippen. He's going to take him down low every time.
Robinson to the left hand. And Pippen trying to save. Stepped out of bounds. I see Cliff Robinson is back to the red headband. He did shed the headband looking for better fortune as he was struggling with the shot the other night.
We showed moments ago the points off turnovers that have taken place so far in this game, and the team that has committed the fewest turnovers has won each game in the first 3 thus far.
Just under 3 remaining in the first. Ainge trying to give it up. Another turnover by the Trailblazers. Paxson for 3. Terry Porter yet to take a shot. Robinson, yes. So that has to feel good for Cliff Robinson, who has not been able to hit the outside shot. The Bulls 22, the Blazers 11. Ainge with the steal. Here's Drexler for Robinson. And the Bulls want to talk it over.
Taking out Big Dave, our cameraman, with the extra effort.
And Robinson able to put it home.
Just before the timeout, Danny Ainge hustling after the loose ball and winds up going into Dave Hagan. Our cameraman was at a trip by Big Dave, trying to take Danny out of the action. Some of the hazards of being on the sideline.
Dave took the hit well. Very physical player.
Great bounce back ability by the big guy. Turnovers, the key factor so far. Portland with an inability to protect the basketball. The team that scores points off turnovers clearly has a decisive edge in this series so far.
Well, usually what it does is it translates into a slam dunk or easy layup for either team. And that's why you see there today off turnovers 13-3 favoring the Bulls so far.
Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in this opening quarter, the Chicago Bulls 22, Portland Trailblazers 13.
What about the theory, Magic, of teams that get out to big, quick leads early in NBA games? Not always the best thing that happens.
Well, that's true. But if you're on the road, I know with myself, I like to get out to early leads to take the crowd out of it.
Robinson missed the tip, but Williams right there. And the Blazers have come back. They are now down by 7. Jordan battling, and he will go to the foul line. Portland with 6 unanswered to move within 7. Chicago has led by as many as 13. They led 18-5. They led 20-7. They were up 22-9. Cliff Robinson called for his second foul. Cliff Robinson's mother flew into Portland for the game on Sunday. That's usually a good omen. Cliff said he always plays better when his mom is in the stands, so Cliff went out with his mother watching and hit one of his first 9 and 2 for 11, a rough day.
The only difference is probably when Mom was coming to see him play against those other teams, he could get off. But now he's playing against the Bulls, and the competition is a lot better. And you're talking about Scottie Pippen instead of probably playing against somebody like Sacramento or somebody.
Oh, watch it.
But he understands.
Wasn't there some interest on your part in getting involved in the ownership of the Sacramento Kings?
It still is.
Turning on them now. Wait a second, Magic.
No. Just speaking reality.
I see. Okay. Illegal defense call for the first time. Scott Williams has checked in. Williams replacing Cartwright, and he's guarding Williams. Buck Williams being guarded by Scott Williams. And B.J. Armstrong on the floor for the first time, replacing John Paxson. 1:05 to go in this opening quarter. Grant with the post-up move. Darryl Garrison checking it out with Joey Crawford.
Excellent call. Excellent call.
What's interesting as they fight for possession there in the tip by Buck, both players who are shooting over 60%, Buck at one end and Grant at the other end, both wind up missing 4-footers, which they normally make.
Here's Pippen. B.J. Armstrong able to get back as Porter hits the three. Terry Porter launching his first field goal. Took a while. Went to the final minute of the first quarter. Remember, Porter got only 7 shots from the field in Game 3. Michael Jordan is now 2 of 7 from the floor. Here's Porter again for 3. And Pippen gets to it. Jordan with the save and the stop. Down to 11 seconds to go, first quarter. The Bulls lead 26-18. Drexler for 3. So that is the end of the first quarter. The Bulls 26 and the Blazers 18.
Michael, the quick look down the floor. Michael by himself in that right foot, almost on the out-of-bounds line.
So Michael Jordan with 11 points to lead the Bulls.
Memorial Coliseum. I'm Ahmad Rashad, joined now by Maxine Duckworth, Kevin's mother. Now, Kevin has so many weird pets. Where did he come up with this weird pet thing?
Kevin has always been a lover of animals, wild, tame, anything. He loves them. And one time, Kevin had some bats in the house in a box, and I wasn't aware of it. Bats, pigeons, pigs, anything. I don't even know where he got them from.
Well, you know what he's got now? He's got 4 tanks of fish, 3 dogs, a lizard, another iguana, and he also has a goose named Garfield.
Yes, and I was playing with answer is a lizard, and his name is Homie.
All right, speaking of homie, let's go back to my homie, Marv Albert.
Thank you, Ahmad. I think Kevin will be a lovely guy to room with, don't you say?
I don't think so. That was a beautiful pass right there. Backdoor play. Went into Pippen, and they double teamed on Duckworth, and Williams went backdoor. And beautiful pass from Pippen.
Chicago opened up by reeling off the first 10 points of the game. Robinson has regained the touch. That's his second from outside. Bulls lead 28-20. Bulls have led by as many as 13. They shot 50% in the first quarter, 52% to this point. Portland 8 for 23 from the field in the first. Scottie Pippen with a wide open shot. He's 5 for 7. He has 10 points.
You think of how many times Chicago takes a shot with both feet on the ground set versus how many times Portland's taking them like on the run, planting just to get away from somebody. A few moments ago, after the post-up, double team on Pippen, just move it out the ball, and Chicago plays so unselfishly, they give it up to open teammates, and it has been such a factor, the assist ratio in this particular series, 32 plus versus 18 plus. When you pass the ball and get high percentage shots, you get scores, then you get a lot of assists.
The reason they get those open jump shots is penetration. The last time BJ penetrated to the middle, kicked it back out to Pippen for the wide open standstill jump shot.
Chicago foul was called on Scott Williams. Bill Cartwright has returned. Williams remains. And Scottie Pippen picks up his second.
You know, you go back to Magic's playing days and some of the incredible numbers he had as a point guard with assists, and I'm sure Magic will be the first to admit that if those guys he's passing the ball to are not making shots on given nights, you just don't wind up getting a lot of assists. It helps to have teammates that knock them down.
Exactly, and know you have to know where everybody's going to be at that given time. You know, I used to know Byron Scott loved the corner, so I penetrated and looked for him in the corner.
Duckworth getting inside and drew the foul. Nice setup for Kevin Duckworth.
Well, they ran a triangle offense that time. They passed it from the wing to the center of the court to Porter, and then triangle down to Cartwright for 2. Duckworth for 2.
It's all angles, knowing where to get the ball to so that eventually you can make the right pass, and angles certainly help to keep it away from the defensive players. Slowly the Trailblazers have chipped away after being down 10-zip, 16-5, 18-7. Now they're right back 30-23, slowly getting back into the basketball game.
Cartwright goes to the jumper. Porter met by Jordan. Here's Robinson. Try to finger roll it off a difficult angle. Cliff Livingston just came on. And Ames gets to it. Ames and Porter in the backcourt. Here's Robinson giving it up to Kersey. Ames for 3. Trailblazers are within 4. Armstrong with the step. Yes. Nice play by B.J. Armstrong. Off the dribble and hitting the pull-up, giving Chicago a 6-point end. Robinson forced into the bad shot by Williams. Ames and Jordan starts back. 2 Blazers get back.
You know, Cliff Robinson trying to give the official clap in his hand saying, come on, make the call. That's a terrible shot. You're not going to get calls on shots that are not good shots. Officials understand the game.
He forced that jump shot. He forced the contact. That's why he didn't get a call.
Foul committed by Ames, and a timeout has been taken. 9th season, perennial All-Star Clyde Drexler is getting another chance at winning an NBA championship. We asked Clyde, how much does this second chance had a title mean to him?
When you throw the ball up in October in the exhibition season, this is what you're thinking about. And once you've made it, you got to do the best you can. And for us, getting here the second time is very special, but also we want to win it. And so there's nothing sweeter than the smell of success. And that's what we're searching for now.
Well, you know, it's difficult, first of all, just getting to the finals, not alone winning one. I mean, that's so hard. And then what Michael is trying to do, win back-to-back, that's even more difficulty. So Clyde really wants to win. I mean, he's worked hard to get this team back here two times, in the last 3 years. And, you know, this is his chance right now. He may never get another chance.
Magic, earlier in the playoffs when the Bulls were struggling, having problems against clubs like the Knicks and the Cavaliers, Michael Jordan said it, Scottie Pippen said it, others said that they don't seem to have the same hunger as they did a year ago. And some people criticized that. Did you guys, with the Lakers, ever lack the hunger second, third time around?
Well, I don't, you know what, I think the words will cross up. They had the hunger, but what happens is they didn't know it was going to be this hard. That's what it was. They didn't know that New York was going to play them as tough as they did, and then Cleveland come out and give them the same sort of difficulty. You know, maybe they thought it was going to be a little easier.
Enos Watley has come on for the first time. Clyde Drexler back on the floor. Duckworth battling for position with Cartwright. 4 minutes gone by in the second. The Bulls by 8. They've led by as many as 13. Here's Robinson. Yes. Robinson with his 4th field goal. So he has turned it around here in the first half following that 2 for 11 on Sunday night.
You know, after the fatigue factor that we saw in game number 3 where Michael Jordan was very tired early in the game, he has now played over 16 straight minutes for Chicago to start this game out.
Armstrong with the save. Here's Scott Williams. Offensive foul. And for Williams, that's his 3rd personal.
That might have been the toughest play in terms of Scott Williams should have passed that ball to Cartwright. He was wide open on the other side of the basket. Instead, he takes it in, good position, charging foul.
And that's what happens when you have guys doing things they're not used to doing. Scott Williams is not used to putting it on the floor for 16 feet, trying to create off the dribble. He's an interior passer, but not on the move off the dribble.
B.J. Armstrong called for the foul. The Bulls 34, the Trailblazers 28. Chicago with a front line of Cartwright, Livingston, Grant. Grant replacing Williams. Drexler around Livingston. Clyde Drexler with a sensational drive.
That time, rather than settling for the outside shot, Clyde put it on the floor, took it to the basket, got a very high percentage shot.
Jordan, yes. Michael Jordan has 15 points. The Bulls 36, and the Blazers 30. Just under 7 remaining first half. Robinson. Watley able to rescue. Robinson with position. Fouled by Grant.
Shots, or you can put it on the floor and try to get 12 inches from the rim, and you're usually going to score. Michael Jordan always trying to improve his shot position, the ability to put it on the floor and create. Michael Jordan being able to take the basketball where he wants to. That first step is the one where he loses Drexler, and then Clyde never goes up to challenge the shot at the end. You got to get a hand in the shooter's face, or at least try and get a piece of that basketball.
And two, Mike, I thought that Enos Watley should have came over and made Michael Jordan kick it to PJ instead of letting Michael just split between them and take that easy shot.
It's one of the things they said after game one. We've got to give help on Jordan. You can't expect Clyde to play him by himself.
Nobody can.
That foul a moment ago committed by Horace Grant put Chicago over the limit. Cliff Robinson was not a good free throw shooter to the line for the first time, but Cliff has had a good shooting game from the field. He's 4 for 8 points. He's had his problems in this final series. That 7 for 14 impressive, but much of it was done during garbage time. The game was out of reach. I'll explain that to you, Czar.
And now in this series, from the foul line, Cliff Robinson 6 for 14 from the free throw line.
Coming up on the Prudential halftime report, Bob Costas, Quinn Buckner will be joined live on the set by former Trailblazer Bill Walton. Walton, of course, the man in the middle here in Portland when the Blazers won their only title back in 1977. Shot clock at 2. And it's a 24-second violation. Also coming up at halftime, we'll see the other Michael Jackson, joined by Michael Jordan for his latest music video entitled Jam. We'll bring you a sneak preview that's coming up on the Prudential halftime report.
In that last series, Magic had just talked about getting some help on Michael from Enos Watley. Well, that time Enos helped, and as soon as he turned his head, B.J. Armstrong ran to the deep corner. That's where Michael found him with the open pass.
The double up on Drexler, and Grant was able to help out on Duckworth for the recovery. Here's Duckworth. Yes. Magic Kevin Duckworth hit that shot, but he's the only man you ever see on a pick and roll, and he ends up taking a shot from the outside.
The only center, big man that I know that always likes to fade to the corner instead of go all the way to the hoop and dunk it or lay it in. And that's why Chicago's defense can come over, because they'll let him have that jump shot. They don't want to give it to him, but they'll let lay it or dunk.
Nicely done. Robinson finding Drexler. 10 points for Drexler. Bulls with a 38-34 lead. And it's a blocking foul charge to Buck Williams. For Buck, his second.
Second team foul.
Underneath the basket, Michael lost sight of where Drexler was just for a split second, and with his size and jumping ability, you can throw it up over the top. Now, whether or not it's a block or a charge, no question, Buck Williams never got there in time as Jordan tried to come off the screen.
Second team foul committed by Portland. Cliff Robinson. Here's the cheers as he sits down. Michael Jordan departs with 15. Robinson leaves with 8.
Right here, you see that Edelman decided not to take Drexler out with Jordan on the bench. Looks like Clyde's going to play a lot of minutes tonight because it's a must-win situation for them.
Livingston. Oh, what a play by Horace Grant, keeping it alive and then getting position to hit high off the glass.
Well, for Chicago right now, look at the bodies you have that you got to worry about on the glass. You have Pippen out there, you have Livingston, Grant, and Cartwright.
Here's Porter. That's 2-point range. Well, Terry Porter with his second field goal. And the Bulls lead by 4. Horace Grant continues his excellent play. He had the strong all-around game on Sunday night. Been solid right throughout this series. Blazers have hit their last 5, make it 6. The Bulls by 4. Now Chicago got off to that blistering start. They led 10-0. They led 18-5. They led 20-6. to 7, and Portland has been able to come right back. That foul was called on Drexler.
The live body of the Chicago Bulls, keeping it alive under the basket. Grant with the offensive rebound, and then when you give it to him the set offense, and he's only 3 or 4 feet from the basket, he's going to convert that way. No question why he shoots over 60% or high 50s for the entire season, because of his shot selection, where he gets the basketball. It's a lot of hard work.
Livingston posting up on Kersey. Portland on the run. Drexler whipping by Pippen. Had too much on it. Pippen. And it will be Portland ball.
Well, here comes Clyde again. Now watch Scottie Pippen make this move like he's going to come over and block, but he got right out the way and made Clyde go off balance. An excellent defensive move by Scottie Pippen.
Portland on fire in the second quarter. They have hit 9 of 14 after the 4 shooting first quarter. Drexler tripped by Pippen. And that's number 3 on Pippen.
The quick move, first step by Drexler, a long one, and then Pippen knows he's beat, so tries to reach from behind to get the flick.
Michael Jordan returns. Scottie Pippen sitting down with 10 points, 3 assists. Clyde Drexler to the line for the first time, and he's 28 for 29 from the line in this series. Well, he had hit 28 in a row.
That's what usually happens when you say good things about somebody at the free throw line. They usually miss them. But Clyde has been getting the majority of his points at the free throw line in this series.
Which tells us that he really hasn't been his usual offensive presence.
Exactly. Michael's been doing an excellent job on him defensively. He has to be getting his point at the free throw line.
We're approaching 3 minutes to go. First half, Cartwright showing the nice touch. That's his 4th field goal. 9 points for Bill Cartwright. The Bulls 44 and the Blazers 39. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Magic Johnson, Ahmad Rashad from Portland. And the ball goes back to the Bulls, but first a timeout taken by Phil Jackson. 2:53 left in the second quarter. Well, the Bulls have a 5-point lead. All the discussion, or much of it after game number 3, revolved around the fact that Terry Porter managed only 7 shots. He's had only 3 shots here in the first half, although he's hit 2, so Terry's still not getting into the offense.
It's something they put in yesterday. They brought out the old 1 set, and it's designed so that Terry Porter can run off this man, come down around a double, anything to free up Porter for more shots. At this point, only 3 attempts in the first half. Another point of emphasis yesterday in practice was to screen people. They spent a lot of time doing a simple thing like setting good screens. You could see the Trailblazers come out and be more aggressive in putting their bodies on defensive players. If you don't screen defensive players, you're not going to get your shooters open.
Good defensive sequence here by Portland. Dick Bavetta waves it off. And he's called a foul on the Trailblazers. That's number 2 on Drexler. Getting back to the subject of Porter. Look at the foul committed by Drexler. At least he has not forced the shots.
And it was a big area of concern going into the game because you had Porter only getting 7 shots. He was concerned. You had Robinson going 2 for 11. You had Kersey shooting the ball bad. Everybody can't try to get off early at the same time. It doesn't work that way.
Kersey knocked it away. Livingston recovering. Shot clock down to 3. That's a 3-point attempt. Here's Kersey. We have seen very little of Jerome Kersey getting to the open floor.
Well, see, this is what Portland needs more of, transition points. Michael Jordan takes a 3-point, a long shot. They can run off a long shot, long misses.
Duckworth with the rebound. Blazers down by only 3. Here's Buck Williams. And Drexler with the putback. He's brought Portland within 1.
This is the helter-skelter, wide-open style of play that is Blazer basketball. This is where they flourish. This is how they're able to play best. You get them slowed down, you make them play half court, it is not to their advantage.
Shot clock at 5. Down at 2. Here's Jordan. At the 24-second buzzer, Michael Jordan with his 5th field goal. He has 17 points and all. The Bulls lead by 3.
2 straight possessions for Chicago. Last time with 2 seconds on the 24, Jordan shot a 3 and missed. That time with under 1 remaining, Jordan got the shot off and made it. They're using the clock, trying to be patient.
Here's Drexler. The Chicago lead is 1. They were up by as many as 13. Time runs down in this first half. The Portland defense has stepped up the last 3 possessions. Jordan, 19 points. The Bulls, 48. The Blazers, 45.
So Portland is coming out higher and challenging the Chicago Bulls players, and that's why their defense is really taking over in these last, I say, 2 minutes, because they're forcing them to run the clock down and taking tough shots.
And I would say they should be pretty happy with where they are, considering how the game started out.
Drexler finding Williams. Good play by Grant, coming over to get a piece of it.
You have to admire the play of Grant. There are no easy layups against Chicago. He's there, he's going to challenge, try to block or intimidate on every side. It's amazing how few times he's called for a foul.
And you hear the reaction from the crowd looking for the foul call as time ran out in this first half. So the Chicago Bulls with a 3-point lead. Michael Jordan, 19 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Clyde Drexler, the high man for the Trailblazers, with 15. Portland with a red-hot second quarter, 12 for 19, 63% to come from a 3-point, rather a 13-point deficit. Bob and Quinn coming up in a moment. Back at the Memorial Coliseum, the 682nd consecutive sellout for the Portland Trailblazers. Michael Jordan, the high man for Chicago. Clyde Drexler with 15 to lead Portland. Marv Albert with the czar of the tennis, Mike Fratello. Irvin Magic Johnson, Ahmad Rashad, Bob Costas, Quinn Buckner. A cast of thousands for Game 4 of this best of 7 NBA final. The Bulls leading 2 games to 1. The Blazers trying to tie the series at 2. Game 5 here in Portland on Friday night will be on hand starting 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 o'clock on the West Coast. Cartwright is rejected. He thought he was fouled. Duckworth met on a switch by Pippen. Now Drexler to the crossover. Duckworth being guarded by Grant. Duckworth got the foul call before the shot attempt by Joe Crawford.
Just to make a point of what a difference an officiating crew makes in the game. And that's why the coaches and players have to know who's on the game. Game 1, 23-22 free throw attempts. Game 2, 38-26. Game 3, 29-32. Halftime of this game, 8-7. Not too many free throw attempts.
Foul was called on Grant. He has 3. Michael Jordan delivering to John Paxson. Pippen looking for Jordan, but it was broken up.
Well, we must point out that in all 3 of these games so far, Chicago has dominated the third quarter of every game. So let's see if that's going to hold true tonight.
You recall Sunday night, the record low third quarter, the 2 teams combining for 31 points, that an NBA Finals record. Cartwright stripped by Drexler. Shot clock at 4. Here's Paxson for 3. And that is his first field goal. A 3-pointer for John Paxson. Jackson giving the Bulls a 51-45 lead. Drexler, wild shot. He was trying to draw the foul. Pippen ahead of the field.
That's the problem when you wind up taking bad shots, you land on the floor, you're not up back in transition defense. That's when Chicago will take advantage of you when they have numbers and run out.
This is not a good start for the Portland Trail Blazers. They wanted to have a start like this, to get this crowd excited again like they did at the end of the second quarter.
The Bulls with an 8-point lead. Shot clock is running down. Here's Porter. Just to get it off. Duckworth on the rebound. And a good blows the layup. Kevin Duckworth with 7 points. And Portland is down by 6.
You get your big guys underneath the basket. Dunk the basketball. Don't try and finger roll the thing. Dunk it. Possibly get a 3-point play if they foul you.
And that's a traveling violation.
Move your feet before you put the ball on the floor like that. It's going to be a travel.
Drexler had to race it down. With the spin, he ran into Duckworth. 3-on-2 for the Bulls. Pippen. Scottie Pippen is 6 for 10 from the field. Drexler whips it out. Drexler for 3. Buck Williams gets to it. Drexler 0 for 3 from downtown. Now Drexler played by Pippen. Duckworth. Rebounded by Grant.
Duckworth never really has his balance when he makes that move to the middle of the floor. He's always pulling away from the rim instead of going to it.
Jordan with a wild attempt. He's trying to draw the foul.
Exactly. You know, they let a lot go, so when you go in there tonight, it's man on man now. I mean, you better be going up there to score because they're not calling any of those little tick-tick fouls.
And both clubs have gone to a cold spell. Pippen. Scottie Pippen giving the Bulls a 55-47 lead with 4 minutes gone by in the third, and Terry Porter tells Joe Crawford timeout. The Blazers will talk it over. Chicago with a 7-2 advantage in this third quarter to lead. Well, a look at the beautiful outdoors here in Portland, Oregon. Indoors, the Bulls with an 8-point lead, and we touched upon the fact moments ago that the Trailblazers have had major problems in the third quarter. 17 points in the third quarter, game 1, 16 game 2, 15 in game 3. And check out the Portland shooting in the third quarter, and it's carried right to tonight's ball game in the third quarter. Blazers 1 for 10 from the field. They've missed their last 5.
How do you explain coming out of the locker room having problems in the third quarter? I mean, what type of things are going to affect your team at halftime?
Well, to me, you know, it doesn't seem like they have a particular 1 or 2 plays they want to run. Terry Porter just hit a shot there. Like with Riley, with us, we had like 3 or 4 plays we wanted to go to right away and get us off. And it seems like to them they haven't had that in the third quarters of every game, and especially tonight.
Grant way off, rebounded by Duckworth. Why would that be? Is perhaps the feeling of the coaching staff. That's a blocking foul on Paxson.
We had talked earlier about trying to do something in practice yesterday for Terry Porter. Well, here's the exact play they worked on. The double screen, and then let Porter try and come off to see if he can get an open shot. Paxson, the defensive player, decides to go over the top. Porter runs a fade to the corner. There it is. Something to free up Terry Porter.
Getting back to the question I started to ask you, Is it because Rick Adelman feels that perhaps this club cannot handle too many plays as Kersey is able to hit? Some teams are better in a freelance situation.
Well, I'm sure with his talent, they are better in a freelance situation. But you're in the championship, you're in the finals now. You got to go with some set offense. You got to go with some kind of strategy that's going to help you win the game, especially when you're playing the Chicago Bulls. You can't brand them all the time against them.
Quick shot again by Drexel. One of those times where maybe a few passes is a better decision.
The Bulls with a 57-51 lead. Foul committed by Duckworth. That is his second.
Off the dribble, Pippen so tough to play in the open floor, particularly for a guy like Duckworth who is so big.
You know, he would have been better off, Mike, if he had just let him just take the jump shot. If he had faded back toward the basket in terms of Duckworth and let Scotty maybe pull up for the jumper instead of trying to challenge him out on the basketball court.
Jordan with the move to his left. And that is one you rarely see.
But that time, you'll notice that Drexel gets his arm up and challenges the jump shot, which he did not do earlier when we showed a replay, and Michael knocked it down. That time, the arm was extended.
Duckworth lost it. Pippen with the change of pace. Drexler got a piece of it. Drexler lost it. And here comes Jordan. Well, he felt the footsteps and was able to slow down and went for the conventional layup.
Yes. How many times have we seen in this series that one of the Portland Trail Blazers would drive in there, jump up in the air, nothing there, and try to make a pass, steal, layup for the Chicago Bulls many times in this series.
And it's a point that you make about passing ability of players. Now, a few moments ago we mentioned that Jordan went up to take a jumper. Watch the extension by Clyde Drexler. The challenge is there. There it is, arm extended, almost on the ball. That's what makes the difference. The shooter does not get the real clean look at the basket.
Foul by Paxson, Chicago's third team foul. Portland with one. Mark Williams. That is his second field goal. Buck has been quiet offensively. Bulls by 6 as we come up on 5 minutes to go in the third. Paxson drawing the foul. John Paxson going to the drive.
Unusual for John to take it to the basket, and Terry Porter thought he wouldn't drive, and he drove the ball to the basket and got fouled. Now, you know, Buck is not Buck's fault. He's been begging, and you know what? If I was Buck, I would demand the ball because they're not shooting well from the outside. So, hey, if you're not shooting well, give me a chance inside. See what I can do. I shoot 60% under the basket, so I can shoot when I'm down low like he just did a while ago.
And then if you start punishing teams on the inside, they will have to collapse the defense, and now the outside shots will come when you kick in, then you kick back out, and now you have stationary shots rather than on the move shots.
5 minutes remaining in the third. Chicago with a 7-point lead. Kersey took the shoulder, and he'll go to the line. That is number 4 on Pippen.
Well, Phil Jackson will have to make a decision now. He's going to talk to Pippen probably about making him aware of the fact he's got 4. Does he make the substitution and bring Livingston in the game and put Pippen on the bench? Or does he leave Pippen out on the floor, hoping that he does not pick up his 5th foul?
Kevin Duckworth sitting down, replaced by Cliff Robinson. 7 points, 10 rebounds for Duckworth. He has been the man off the boards with that double-figure number. Here's Kersey, only a 66% free throw shooter.
Pippen was questioning whether or not the foul was on him. He didn't think it was. He thought that he had already gone by Kersey on the drive, that it was someone else who may have stuck a hand in there.
Well, you know what? it was either a foul or traveling. So, or, you know, you couldn't call it because he traveled once he got past Scott.
Livingston replacing Scottie Pippen. Chicago with a 5-point lead.
I like the decision by Phil Jackson. Put Pippen on the bench right now. Buy time with Cliff Livingston because you're still holding a 5-point lead.
Right for Livingston. And it's recovered by Livingston. Jordan for three. Michael Jordan has gone back to the three-point game. He hit one early. This is second of the night, 24 points in all. And Chicago leads 63-55. Drexler try to match it. Here's Jordan. Strip. Good play by Drexler. Percy going at Cartwright. Porter for three. Percy gets to it. These are the first two rebounds of the game for Jerome Percy. Here's Robinson wide open. Yes. The Bulls 63. The Trailblazers 57. Just under 4 minutes to go in the third. And it's kicked out by Drexler.
A few moments ago, Drexler had taken a bad shot at the offensive end, but if you work hard and get it back for your team at the defensive end, coaches will live with that type of thing. Bad shot, but get back on defense and make up for it.
3:44 to go in the third. The Bulls take a timeout. Not bad for a guy with a bruised heel also, I guess, huh?
Must have found just enough power to hit the golf ball. 47-39.
Peter Jacobson, a native of Portland, season ticket holder, showing his form at halftime. Cliff Robinson whipping by John Paxson and drew the foul. The Bulls have led all the way. They opened up with a 10-0 burst, led by as many as 13. Portland has made a couple of runs, and they are in the midst of one right here. Paxson called for the foul. Chicago is over the limit. 3:38 remaining in the third quarter, and that Chicago lead is down to 5.
Well, we got a key matchup to look forward to right here. Now, will Cliff Robinson be able to handle Bill Cartwright inside, or will the speed and outside shooting ability of Cliff Robinson get to Bill Cartwright? So you can look forward to this in the next 3:30 to see what's going to happen here.
Now Jordan looking to post up. Yes. Michael Jordan has 26. The Bulls 65, the Blazers 59. And Rick Adelman has a combination of Porter and Drexler in the backcourt. Robinson is up front with Williams and Percy. The alley-oop did not work. Drexler on the recovery. Phil Jackson felt he came from out of bounds. Here's Percy. A trick by Buck Williams. He has 6 points. And the Bulls now lead by 4.
Well, Portland had set up that backdoor lob on the timeout, and they love to use that play when they come out of huddle.
Cartwright. Rebounded by Percy. Porter's pass is broken up by Paxson. A very low percentage pass from Porter. Williams breaks it up. Here's Porter giving it up. And Percy draws the foul.
Michael Jordan left alone down on the low post area. No, you got to go get the basketball out of his hands. He's too good down there. Michael almost burned on the backdoor lob attempt, but just recovers enough so that Clyde can't get a good handle on it and finish the play off.
I hope everybody was watching that. When we slowed it up, did you see both men's sky? Boy, was that beautiful. That's the agility of an NBA basketball player. I can't sky, but I love looking at somebody else that can.
Marv and I are having a hard time relating to that.
Speak for yourself.
I tell you, this is going to be one game. Nobody should leave their sets because this fourth quarter will be interesting.
Kersey is 2 of 3 from the line. Bulls 65, the Blazers 62. 2:20 remaining in the third. They are on their feet here at the Coliseum in Portland. The outside official, Dick Pavetta, with the call against Kersey. That's his second, third team foul.
You know, Portland has made a lot of mistakes this afternoon, but they have certainly shown the effort in breaking up a lot of the plays that are occurring after the mistakes. Right now, the Blazers up on the hustle board, 42-29. Last game, it was Chicago up on the hustle board the entire game.
Robinson to the rebound. And Porter's pass again picked off, this time by Armstrong.
I mean, those are not good passes, trying to cross-court it off the dribble, one hand, and Terry Porter is not 6 feet 9 inches tall like Magic Johnson was when he could throw those things off the dribble.
Armstrong tried for 3. Livingston with the save.
Well, two things we found out last year playing the Bulls. You cannot cross-court it in terms of throwing a pass cross-court, or you cannot throw long passes because Jordan and Pippen will run them down before it gets to your man.
Jordan delivering to Grant, who was bottled up. It'll be Chicago ball with 6 on the 24.
Magic just made an excellent point. This team covers so much ground defensively. When you try and cross-court it, they intercept. And as Rick Adelman has said, we have not faced a team like this before that pose these kind of problems.
Shot clock at 1. And that is an air ball. It's a 24-second violation.
If you're wondering why Chicago is struggling right now, because Scottie Pippen is not on the basketball court, and a lot of their offense revolves around Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. Scottie penetrating, kicking it to BJ, and these other guys can get their shot off that way. Right now, Michael's had to take all the offense on his shoulder and is not getting it done at this particular moment.
You have two creators that run the Chicago offense. Pippen leads the team in assists. Jordan's right behind him. Right now with Pippen on the bench, it's a major problem out there.
Pippen sitting down after he picked up his 4th foul. We come up on a minute to go in the third. Another low-scoring third quarter. Both teams with 17 points in the third. Here's Buck Williams. Offensive foul. For Buck, it is his third.
One extra burden that the foul problems on Pippen have played is that Michael Jordan must stay on the floor. Now, as Buck goes down inside and clears out with that free arm, Joe Crawford is there, makes it. It's the left arm that clears him out. But going back once again, with Pippen in foul trouble, Phil Jackson has had to leave Michael Jordan on the floor. He has played every minute other than 2 in this basketball game.
Ray Hodges checking in for the first time this series. He's been bothered by a sprained ankle. Michael Jordan will go to the line. Foul committed by Robinson.
Jordan getting to the front of the rim. There's the foul clearly on the shot attempt.
Well, they did a wonderful job of 1-4. They went to a 1-4, spread everybody out, let Michael decide which side of the lane, whether he wants to go left or right. Perfect play. Great move by Coach Jackson to call that play at that particular time. It was the same play last year that tied the game in Game 3 of our game when he came down 1-4, took the jumper to send the game into overtime.
You tell me who wants to guard him one-on-one, top of the circle with all the help broken down because they spread the floor.
Especially with him coming full speed at you.
Michael 8 for 8 from the line. He has 28 points. Robinson, too much dribble, and it cost. Hodges lost it. Gave it right back. Nicely done. Clyde Drexler with 17, but that is first bucket of the third quarter. And the Bulls now lead 67-64, 25 seconds remaining in the third. Jordan looked to go one-on-one, changed his mind with Ainge coming over to help. Greg Hodges off the bench to hit the jumper. That was 2-point range. The Bulls 69. The Blazers 64. Final seconds of the third quarter. Drexler to Robinson. 2 seconds to go in the quarter. Here's Jordan from beyond midcourt.
At the end of the third quarter, when the score is
after 3 in Portland of Game 4, the best of 7 NBA Final. Michael Jordan with 28. Clyde Drexler with 17 held to 2 points in the third. It's the Bulls 69 and the Portland Trail Blazers 66. We'll be back. Welcome back to the City of Roses, Portland, Oregon, as we head to the fourth quarter. The Bulls and the Blazers each with 21, a low-scoring third quarter. That has been the scenario throughout this series. Chicago has led throughout. They've led by as many as 13, but the Blazers have shown some signs. They are within 3, despite the fact Clyde Drexler was only 1 of 8 from the field in the third.
Well, 21 points doesn't get you overly excited, but if you're Portland, at least it's headed in the right direction after the 3 previous third quarters were all, 15, 16, 17, that area. At least now they're up over 20 for a quarter.
Portland has done it off the boards. They have the edge 33-25 over Chicago. Shot clock on the 3. Porter with the good fake on Armstrong. That's the 24-second buzzer. And the Bulls open up with Jordan and Hodges at the guard. Scott Williams up front along with Horace Grant. Nice move by Michael Jordan. And he has 30. The Bulls lead 71-66.
This is a mismatch for the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, Chicago has gone to 3 guards. Now, who's going to play Michael Jordan? And then who will play the 2 shooters, B.J. Armstrong and Hodges? It's going to be interesting. Oh, I see Kersey is going to guard B.J. He went to help.
Ainge starts back. Ainge met by Hodges. Ainge and Porter in the backcourt. Robinson, Kersey, and Buck Williams up front. Robinson. I have the shot, got it out to Porter. Minute and a half gone by in the fourth. Jordan, yes. And a timeout called by Rick Allen. The Bulls 73, the Blazers 66.
McAdoo and Norm Nixon being hurt, and then also witnessing still the greatest move I've ever seen in basketball today when Dr. J jumped out of bounds on the right side, floated, and ended up scoring on the left side.
Yes, we have seen that highlight a few times over the years.
It's still the greatest move I've ever seen, ever witnessed in a basketball game.
The Bulls lead by 7. Ainge passing on the 3. It's the 2. Danny Ainge for the second field goal. He has 5. The Bulls by 5.
And it was a little floater similar to that back in Game 2 that got Portland going, which eventually wound up being a win in overtime when they came back to that 10-point deficit. So let's see if Ainge gets them going once again.
Scottie Pippen is back. Michael Jordan sitting down. B.J. Armstrong with the open shot hitting his second field goal.
Well, that was a good shot for him. He had missed his last 2 or 3 shots, and that was a good one for him to knock down for that confidence level.
Danny Ainge able to answer. The Bulls 75, the Blazers 70. 9:20 to go in the fourth, and Portland has done a good job off the bench. The bench well represented for the Bulls right here. Armstrong took the shove. It counts. The foul on Ainge, and Armstrong gets the call on the continuation.
See, when you come down the court and you knock down one shot, then you come down again, give you confidence to go inside and knock down another one. That's what he did. He went inside, excellent head fake, and for two. But all that was set up. That shot was set up by the prior shot when he had hit the wide open set shot.
EJ, an excellent free throw shooter. As I say that, he throws one strong off the back of the rim. Bulls by 7. 3 minutes in. Fourth quarter. Kersey. And a tip for Porter. So Terry Porter getting inside. He has 10 points. Chicago leads 77-72. In the midst of a rest period provided for Michael Jordan. Ames off the turnover. Drexler being guarded by Pippen. And Robinson took a shove from Grant. That's number 4 on Grant. 4 apiece on Pippen and Grant, Maxson, and Williams at 3. The foul rundown for the Blazers. Robinson with 3, Buck Williams with 3, Kevin Duckworth with 3 fouls.
You know, this is really interesting to me. We have played now three-quarter, good block right there by Williams. We're playing now almost 3.5 quarters, and the man I thought who really got them going the other day, here's a block shot here by Williams on the help defense, was Stacey King, and we haven't seen him at all the whole game. And to me, in that fourth quarter, he hit 2+ shots to really nail the coffin down for that victory for the Chicago Bulls.
Well, it goes along with Phil Jackson of being predictably unpredictable. You just don't know what he's going to do. All of a sudden, Hodges plays. He hasn't played yet in the series.
Strong move by Kersey. 13 points for Kersey, who has come on in the second half. And Portland is within 3. Michael Jordan back on the floor. And Scott Williams, oh, he's rocked by Kersey. Let's see what the call is here. Darryl Garrison slowly making his way to the official scorer's table.
The concern is whether or not Garrison's going to award the ball back to Chicago after the free throws, calling a flagrant foul.
Penalty 1 on 25.
A personal foul on Portland's Cliff Robinson. A flagrant foul, penalty 1.
Yes, a flagrant has been called.
There's the foul, and then after it, the shove to the ground is what Darryl Garrison calls. It's not the body landing on it. Watch after now the body comes down right here. The shove with the leg and the body, there's where the flagrant part is called. And that is, remember, there are 2 interpretations, an A and B one. The A interpretation where you are awarded the ball back again after the 2 free throw attempts are taken. No ejection on that one.
Personal foul on Robinson is 4th. A flagrant on Kersey. Magic, for the most part, this has been a mild series. I know Michael Jordan was upset with a couple of contact moves with Buck Williams in game number 3, but there are many who feel that Portland should have been more aggressive against the Chicago Bulls. Not quite like the New York Knicks, because that is not their makeup, and you don't want to completely change their philosophy around. However, perhaps they would have been more successful by grinding away a bit at the Bulls.
Well, they have the manpower to be aggressive, because foul trouble would not hurt them. They have enough people on their bench to bring in if foul trouble occurs. Now, just before that, you saw that Danny Ainge, who is a veteran, who has won 2 championships, went up to Kersey to talk to him. Kersey didn't want to have no part of that, pushed him off, and now you got players on the Portland team upset at each other. They must forget about that play and go on with the ball game.
With 7:43 remaining in this fourth quarter. And Rick Allen is very upset. It's a loose ball on Williams. That is his fourth.
Now, right now, this is a critical part of the game for the Portland Trail Blazers. They must forget about that flagrant foul, get back to playing basketball, and just say, hey, it's over with, let's go.
They're a frustrated team right now. If they lose control in the next 2 minutes, Chicago's going to open this game up.
P.J. Armstrong called for his second. Rick Adelman's concern was that the consecutive fouls do not turn his ball club around. They have, in the past, from time to time, blown up in this type of situation, and Cliff Robinson was hit with a personal and the flagrant on Jerome Kersey, leading to the parade of free throws.
You know, I just witnessed a nice thing in a veteran and a champion. Danny Ainge, even though Kersey had pushed him last time, after Kersey had got fouled, he went right over to him, gave him a high five, patted him on the rear end, and said, hey, let's go. Let's forget about what happened. Let's play basketball.
Excellent observation, because somebody has to be willing to swallow it and move on. And Ainge understood it was nothing personal meant by Kersey. Their teammates, he had stated earlier that this is one of the closest teams he's ever been on. It's the heat of the moment, the excitement, that's all.
7-17 remaining in the fourth quarter. Cartwright can't find anyone. Ainge chest to chest with Jordan. Chicago with a 4-point lead. Kersey matching with Cartwright. Traveling. Violation.
Well, Portland has a very, very small basketball team on the floor right now. Cliff Robinson is their center, and they're playing with Porter, Ainge, Drexler out on the floor. A lot of small guys.
.657 remaining in the fourth quarter, and the Bulls with an 80-76 lead on the Blazers. Chicago has led all the way. They've led by as many as 13. Michael Jordan is the high man with 32 points, 9 of 20 from the field, 8 of 8 from the line. It has been a thoroughly solid performance from Jordan right from the start.
So what remains to be seen now, coming out of this timeout, Portland staying with the small team. Kersey, Drexler, those are the forwards in essence. Ainge and Porter the backcourt. Chicago's going with its normal team, its big team. Chicago wants to see if they can pound them on the glass with the big team.
Well, this is a good move by Coach Phil Jackson to take B.J. out and bring back Paxton so he can get better outside shooting. So when they double down and kick it out, Paxton can hit that shot.
Robinson fires it back out. He was going post up on Cartwright. Ainge not able to hit the runner. Grant with the rebound. Jordan played by Drexler. Finds the open Paxson. And Porter at the guards. Drexler, Kersey, and Robinson on the front line. Here's Drexler. Drexler, 8 for 20 from the field. He went 1 of 8 in the third. He's gone cold in the second half.
You try to stay away from what we call one-pass offense. That means the team gets a chance to throw only one pass after they cross the half-court line, and somebody shoots it up, particularly with a hand in your face. Not the best shot.
Shot clock down to 1. Grant has the force. While Portland, with all kinds of opportunities, they are down by 4 with 5:20 remaining in the fourth quarter. Portland has 16. Portland seeking to tie the series at 2. Chicago hoping to go up 3 games to 1. Ames finding Kersey. Kersey with 19, 13 of his 19 in the second half. And Portland is down by 2. Pippen forced wide and fouled.
Portland, what they've been waiting for the entire series. Let their defense ignite the offense. It starts with the block shot, and then once they come up with the basketball, they're out in the open floor, and it's the unselfish play of Ames, Kersey, the 2 guys that had a problem, no more problem. They're back on the same wavelength.
It's winning time. That's what it is. So let's go with teammates. Let's try to win this game.
Scottie Pippen on the line for the first time today. He's a 76% foul shooter. Chicago 13 of 17 from the foul line.
Well, Marv, you were just talking about Chicago's drought. The reason for Chicago's drought is they haven't been getting any penetration and no layups. All their points on all their shots have come off jump shots. All their points have come off jump shots. And that's all they've been shooting. In return, they've been missing. And that's why Portland has been able to stay in this game.
The Trailblazers with an opportunity to tie or take the lead. The Bulls have led all the way. Foul called on Jordan. That is his second. And Chicago is over the limit.
Well, that time Michael had turned his head just for a split second, and when he turned it to watch the cutter go by, Clyde put it on the floor. The foul takes place.
Drexler 1 of 2 from the line. He had hit 28 in a row. He has gone cold in the second half. 17 points for the game, 15 of the 17 in the first half.
And you don't believe that foul shooting is important? Pippen on the other end just a while ago missed 2, could have put him up 4. Here, Clyde Drexler misses the first one, could have brung them within 1. Here's a chance for the second one. That's why you got to practice free throws a lot, because the game comes out. Look, second one missed again.
However, it's Robinson on the rebound, and he was fouled. Foul committed by Bill Cartwright. Cliff Robinson, who is a shaky foul shooter at 66%, has connected on 2 of 4 this evening.
If you get second shot opportunities close to the rim, good things are going to happen. It's hard work in the lane. Nothing comes easy. Chicago gives you no easy layups.
And Portland is now 10 of 18 from the line. Both the Blazers and the Bulls have not shot well at the free throw line. And look at the fourth quarter shooting, although Portland has done better in the fourth quarter than they have for entire games. The Chicago lead is down to 1 with 3:50 to go in the fourth. Jordan stripped by Drexler. 3 on 2. Kersey. Porter gave it back. Drexler. Portland has taken the lead for the first time.
Here's Michael posting up again. Clyde said, well, I learned from the last 2 times you did it that I'm going to back off, knock it away. Clyde, here comes Kersey to Porter, back to Clyde. The man who made the steal got the reward, the easy 2 points.
Well, we dealt with the subject right at the start of the telecast for Clyde Drexler. This could be a final shot. His 9th year in the NBA. You do not get to the NBA Finals frequently. This is his second opportunity the last 3 years. Portland losing to Detroit in 1990. They split the first 2 games in Detroit and then lost 3 straight here in Portland. And here is Clyde, a perennial all-star, hoping that his club can tie the series at 2.
If they do not win this championship this season, look for this team to break up. It will not be the same Portland Trailblazers team next season.
Portland with a 1-point lead, their first lead of the night. Shot clock at 6. Haynes with the rebound. We're coming up on 3 minutes to go. In the fourth, Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Magic Johnson, and Ahmad Rashad from the Coliseum in Portland. Drexler with the pass fake. Nice feed for Percy.
That's all Rick Adelman has been showing. A little bit of body movement, a little bit of dribble penetration, and some ball movement, and you get high percentage shots.
Jordan did not have the movement on the baseline. Got it to Paxson, and he's tied the game with the 3-pointer. John Paxson hits the 3-point shot, and the Blazers and Bulls are at 85 apiece. A pushing foul committed by Cartwright.
A few moments ago, on offense for Portland, all the things they've been talking about. The pass to Drexler, a little bit of body movement, some cutting, some fake screening. Put the ball on the floor, and there's an open teammate because you make the Chicago defense move. Adelman, yep, that's it. Just like we drew it up, just like we talked about in practice. I like it.
And the same thing happened on the other end. Michael Jordan penetrates, he kicks it back out to John, and he knocks down the 3-pointer.
Cliff Robinson continues to struggle. Scottie Pippen just walked by and had something to say to Cliff. Little psych out by Scottie.
And a tough coaching decision here. Coming into this game, he was 6'12" in the first 3 games. Today, another bad evening at the free throw line. What do? Do you leave him on the floor, or do you take him off at the end of the game?
Well, you almost got to leave him in because of his scoring ability.
Robinson has 16 points. The Blazers lead by 1. Jordan with the pull-up. And it's rebounded by Percy. Jerome Percy has been the key for the Blazers in turning things around in the second half. He has 25 points. He was blanked off the boards in the first half, and he's come up with a number of enormous offensive rebounds. That's a block called on Paxson.
And Portland that time came back and ran the exact same play that they had run earlier when Drexler dumped it off to Kersey. This time, Clyde takes the baseline and kicks it across. Paxson not able to get there in time on the recovery.
If something is working, you stick with it. They've scored now. The last time, Cliff missed one free throw, but they got a point out of it, and let's see what they can do here.
Porter is 1 of 2 from the line, 86% foul shooter. 11 points for Terry Porter. Portland leads 87-85. A minute 50 to go in the fourth. Blazers by 3. Light pressure shown by Portland. Ainge guarding Pippen. Drexler on Jordan. Michael not able to hit. Rebounded by Robinson. And he drew the foul.
That was one terrific offensive move by Michael Jordan to get the shot off. He got a great look at it. He just didn't knock it down. And then when the rebound was grabbed by Robinson, believe me, Jordan knows how he's been at the free throw line this evening. He steps away after he starts left. The rebound, Jordan's going to make him do it at the free throw line.
When we come back, Robinson, 4 of 8 from the line, will shoot 2 more. The Portland Trailblazers trailing most of the way with a surge here in the fourth quarter, have taken a 3-point lead. The Bulls have 2 full timeouts and a 20 remaining. Blazers 3 and a 20. Chicago already over the foul limit. The next foul for Portland will put them over the limit. Cliff Robinson will go to the line. He was fouled by Michael Jordan, who picked up his 3rd. Robinson is 4 of 8 from the line. But Cliff has certainly turned it from the 2 of 11 shooting in Game 3 on Sunday, looking for points 17 and 18.
We had said at the end of Game 3 that if Portland was going to wind up beating Chicago here, they had to get a more balanced attack, had to get more people contributing. Right now, you have 4 players in double figures for the Trailblazers, only 2 guys in double figures for Chicago.
And at 35 remaining. Robinson hits 1 of 2. Portland by 4. Porter staying on Paxson. Cartwright played by Robinson. Pippen with the double team. It was deflected by Percy. Here's Drexler. And he's fouled.
Again, excellent team defense leads to a break for the Portland Trailblazers. Their team defense tonight has been much better. Deflection here, knocked away by Porter. And this is the reason why they're in the lead right now. This is the reason why they're making a move on the Chicago Bulls, because of their team defense has improved, especially in these last 5-6 minutes.
Clyde Drexler is now 2 of 5 from the line, and Portland leads by 5.
Magic, when was the last perimeter shot that Portland has taken?
Well, it's been, 4 or 5 minutes ago with Percy from the corner. They've gotten much smarter, executed a lot better down the stretch, but also their team defense has been better and allowed them to get out on the break.
Chicago has taken a timeout. We'll be right back. Well, since Scott Williams hit the 3 consecutive free throws off the personal foul and the flagrant foul, the Portland Trailblazers have turned it all around. They have outscored the Bulls 17-5 since the series of free throws by Williams.
And let's give credit to Rick Adelman for putting that lineup on the floor. He gambled. He went to a smaller lineup, but it's played very good defense. It's produced some turnovers and blocked shots, and then it has been very efficient at the offensive end of the floor.
A minute 16 left in the fourth. Portland leads 91-85. Pippen fumbled it and drew the foul. He was pushed. It's called on Ainge, his 4th. Pippen to the foul line.
And Chicago realizes that they must now put the ball on the floor, take it to the basket quickly. They have to put points on the board without time running off the clock. So drives to the basket, quicker shots are what Chicago will look for.
And Scottie Pippen is now 0 for 3 from the line. Pippen usually a dependable free throw shooter. 76% for the regular season and 78 in the final series.
But Marv, the 3 that he's missed, all 3 of them have been crucial free throws.
Portland leading 91-86. Pressure by Chicago. And Porter handles against Paxson. The Blazers hoping to tie the series at 2, setting up a pivotal Game 5 here on Friday night. Shot clock at 10. Just under 1 minute to go in the fourth. Crowd looking for a foul on Jordan. Jordan was picked off. Shot clock at 3. Here's Porter. Good play by Paxson. And Portland will throw in with 1 on the 24. Rick Adelman reminding his team 1 second remaining on the 24. Percy throwing into Ainge. Gets it off. And it's rebounded by Grant. We're down to 40 seconds to go in the fourth. 5-point lead for the Blazers. Paxson with the running hook, able to bank it home. John Paxson brings Chicago within 3. Porter racing ahead of the field. Well, that surprised Chicago. And now the Bulls call for time. With 29 seconds remaining. Phil Jackson taking a 20.
John Paxson does a very good job of putting the ball on the floor, going by Drexler, and then converting with the left hand off the backboard. But, as Magic mentioned earlier, when you play a whole season one way, you tend to stay with it. Portland's mentality, attack right away. They took it out of bounds, looked down the floor. There was Porter by himself. Drexler never hesitated, laid it out in front.
Well, whose man is usually back? The first line of defense is usually your point guard. That time, Paxson was driving to the hole. He made the basket, but he's usually the first line of defense to get back. He couldn't get back. Michael or Scotty should have been back to cover for John.
Is Michael Jordan fatigued? Only 4 points in the fourth quarter. He's missed his last 3 shots. He's only 11 for 25.
He's definitely fatigued because those last 3 shots that he's missed has been Michael Jordan's shots that he normally knocks down, especially during crunch time, winning time. It's usually Jordan time, but it hasn't been tonight.
29 seconds remaining in the fourth. The Blazers lead by 5. Jordan unleashing the three-pointer. And let's check out the call. Darryl Garrison says last touch by the Blazers with 18 seconds remaining. Bill Cartwright now checking in for Scott Williams. The Bulls 4 of 11 from three-point range.
Well, down 5 at the time, you need a 3 and a 2 or a 2 and a 3. It doesn't matter what order they come in. So Jordan tried for the quick pull-up 3, figuring if he misses, maybe he'll get an offensive rebound back in for the 2. Maybe he'll get fouled on the offensive rebound.
Pippen will throw in. Ainge giving him the room, looking to help. 15 seconds to go in the fourth. Pippen couldn't find the shot. Paxson does. That's a three-point attack. Rebounded by Pippen. Time is running out on the Bulls. Down to 4 seconds. Here's Paxson. The grab. Broken up by Drexler. Clyde Drexler with another superb defensive play.
The team defense has been excellent. We keep going over that over and over, but they said they had to be more aggressive. Well, they've been more aggressive, especially in the last 6 minutes of this basketball game. That's why they're going to
quarter. They're down by 5. Pippen will throw in. 1 3/10 seconds to go. Just a desperation heave. It'll be Portland ball. The clock remains the same. So the Trailblazers tying the series at 2. And they just run it down. Psychologically, a huge victory for Portland, with thoughts of what took place 2 years ago against Detroit, although the cast of characters certainly different. But they split those first 2 games. The second was an overtime game, and then lost 3 in a row. Not the case here tonight. Let's go over to Ahmad.
All right, Clyde, now, when I talked to you before the game, you said that you guys were optimistic and confident. There had to be some, you guys had to doubt yourself a little bit coming in here.
Well, you always are very concerned about how you're going to play. I think we expected this to be a tough game, but we also had a lot of confidence that we could win here. And Friday's game is going to be a very tough game also. I think the key is to maintain your composure and just do the things you've been doing all season long and keep your poise.
All right, man. Good luck to you. Great game today. Good luck to you on Friday. All right, thanks, Clyde. Marv.
All right, Ahmad. Clyde Drexler with 21 points, but as we mentioned earlier, in the second half, several outstanding defensive plays by Drexler to help the Blazers to the victory. Jerome Kersey at 21. Cliff Robinson came back with 17. Terry Porter at 14. Michael Jordan with 32 points. Scottie Pippen with 17. Again, the final score, Portland 93 and Chicago 88. Join us Friday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, Game 5 of this NBA Finals Series here in Portland, 6 o'clock on the West Coast. Later tonight, follow Magic Johnson and Ahmad Rashad. I'm Marv Albert. This has been a presentation of the NBA on NBC.